my hearing has been postponed to 1:30, and there are many other people on the docket for, well, 3 other people on the docket for 1:30, so that implies that this is going to be a half-hour hearing, which would mean that they've either asked for a continuance or they've chosen to drop the Central Square and the Central Square complaints, which are maybe riot, maybe disorderly conduct. You'd think you'd be able to tell the difference between rioters and people who are just being disorganized. And,
it just goes to show how arbitrary their charges are.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, they couldn't even say with any certainty which statute I violated, and those statutes are Byzantine. You know, one of them has like 9 things that you could have done. This is a disorderly conduct statute, and they include blocking traffic and disobeying a police officer, which are very different acts with very different things that you have to prove. And to say that you've done something under that statute without telling you exactly what conduct was prohibited that you actually performed is, you know, though I didn't see any cops there, but maybe they're saying I disobeyed a police officer. I don't recall blocking traffic, but maybe that's it. And then some of the provisions of the disorderly conduct statute are so vague that you can't really interpret what they mean without, you know, reading a whole bunch of court decisions, which will probably turn up that they mean whatever the police want them to mean.
Do you have a message for anyone who's been following along with all the things that have been happening to you in Keene, Rich?
Yeah, actually, you know, there's been a recent there's been a few people who've been violent with various activists around here. You know, nothing serious has happened to a Free Stater yet, and I'm pleased to say that, but they keep nailing the activists they're not after, and that's unfortunate. But, you know, I'd like to let y'all know 90% of the feedback I get from people who actually live in Keene is good. The local gas station clerk, the local gas station, there's 3 clerks that like me just fine, and there's one that clearly hates me, and since I've never met her, I assume she doesn't like free Keene. That's not bad, 75%. You know, and you know, we're doing a lot of good work in Keene, and I advise you to come on down and check it out for yourself and have a good time down here. We need more activists.
Are you concerned about what's going to happen today?
Well, I mean, I'm concerned. I'd like not to have my life disrupted again, but, you know, because this whole thing of going to jail all the time is very expensive, both personally and economically.
How much time have you spent in jail for your activism?
Let's see. I did 40 days, then I did 12 days. Actually, the first one I was sentenced to 60, but did 40. So I'm going to give you some sentencing terms. So that would make it a 90-day, a 12-day, once for a year. And then I've just come back from doing 36 days held without bail pre-trial. And they held me without bail until the judge said to my attorney and the prosecuting attorney that there was much less on the tape than he expected to see, and so he lowered my bond to $500. Of course, my friends immediately came and got me.
How much time would you be willing to spend in jail for this issue?
Well, I mean, I've dedicated my life, my fortune, my sacred honor to this fight, and when I'm in jail, I pretty much make anarchists, so it's not that bad. But you know, I don't know if I got an offer that included some more jail time and end probation, then I'd do it. You know, but that's not really. I mean, what are you saying? How much time would I do in jail in order to legalize marijuana, or in order to return to constitutional government? I mean, if I could go to prison for the rest of my life, and it meant that nobody else ever had to go again for the issue of marijuana, I'd take that deal. You know, I probably wouldn't live very long, because I'd probably, you know, go on a hunger strike as soon as I got in. But, you know, what's one man's life compared to the millions of people who are harmed by the war on drugs every year? You know, I watch my girl die, partially because she didn't have medical marijuana.
What's it like in jail?
Pretty boring. They seem to be intrigued by me because I'm this weird character who kind of chooses to go to jail all the time, and you know, they think that's strange because most of them are just there because they got caught, and you know, couldn't get out of it. So I'm considered kind of a weird character in there.
Tell me more about how you make anarchists in jail.
Basically, you know, you always want to find common ground with people. So generally, the first thing I try to determine is whether whatever they're in there for would have been a crime under anarchism, because you know, there are some things that would be. So if you're in there for robbery, rape, and murder, you're probably not the person that I want to spend my time trying to recruit. If you're in there for selling weed, if you're in there for prostitution, no, you know, you don't get a lot of that on the male side, then, you know, you can reach out to somebody first through what they got arrested for, and that's usually common ground. Then I start feeling them out on other issues, and I look for what makes them not an anarchist now, and some of them are already anarchists, but they don't know it, you know. But I start looking for the sticking points, and I try and determine whether it's intellectual or emotional. If the sticking point is intellectual, I can argue with them. If the sticking point is emotional, then I can present the tragic outcomes that come from state intervention and point out how things would be better under anarchism. And you know, that's a big part of carrying the messages. You have to come to people where they are. You know, if you go up to somebody who's a stone cold statist and tell him, oh, well, you violate the NAP, you know, he's going to say, I don't care about the NAP. You know, only we care about the NAP. So, okay.